Myself, but I don't need to see myself, right?
And we are live, I think.
Hello.
Hey, everyone. If you can hear us, please say we can hear you.
Every time we set up for a different video or a different live or StreamYard to like film with other people, it's like a whole different setup every time.
Oh, yeah, we got to make sure
And
it
it
works
looks
again.
the same, but it's like, I don't know, there's always pieces of it.
Well, welcome everyone. Man, it's been a long time since we've had a live like this, so we're excited to finally be able to make it happen. We are happy to answer any questions you have. I know there's been a lot going on within the news and different shows coming out, all kinds of shows about polygamy, Mormonism in general. So
yes, and a lot of new subscribers too. So thank you guys, all people who are new, people who've been here forever. We love all of you. And yeah, we're excited to answer anything. Hi from Belgium.
Belgium, wow.
Belgium's so gorgeous.
You've been, huh?
I've been,
I
yeah.
have not. A dream of mine to go to Belgium.
In Alaska.
Welcome.
Look at all of our favorite places that we wish we were instead of Las Vegas right now.
We're stuck in the desert.
Brooks and Bree, the wind, simply.
Wow.
Hello. From Saudi Arabia. Wow.
And Sweden.
You
My
guys,
ancestors
this is so
from
fun.
Sweden.
New York City. Oh, I need to get Sam to New York City so badly.
Surprisingly, I've never been there. Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of places I haven't been. I until I was about 18 years old, I didn't go much of anywhere. So trying to catch up.
Big fan in Utah. Hello, Utah, our neighbors. Hey. Washington State, Michigan, Colorado, New Mexico. Dang, I wish I had like one of those like little maps, like a little scratch off map to be able to see if we could get a little bit from everywhere.
From
Germany. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Is this a good time for everyone that's out of the States?
Yeah, we were kind of always wondering about that. But I mean, we're seeing a lot of people from Europe. So hopefully it's not too bad of a time. It works well for us because our kids are still in school right now. So we're like, we could fit in a live before we have to go do pickup. So it works well.
I almost said Toronto, but I know you guys say Toronto. I was recently there. And I was corrected. It's not Toronto. It's Toronto.
Hi from Alaska. It snowed yesterday. That's Sam's dream.
Wow. Please take me. Just take me out of this desert.
10 p.m. in Saudi Arabia. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, well, we appreciate you staying up late for us. Yeah. In the UK, it's 8. Okay. 8 and 9. So that noon might be a good time, or maybe we can do it 11 and have it a little earlier for UK, but still maybe a lunch break for people here in the US. But
Minnesota,
between appointments,
Atlanta,
love
Kentucky.
it.
Wow, from all over the place.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Like I said, we were thinking about the fact that it's just been forever since we've done a live with everyone, and we're just like, we need to get on and do a live. It's so fun to get to see where everyone's from and chat. Someone said yes, no second T in Toronto. Toronto.
Toronto, yes.
Toronto.
Say it correctly here.
That's kind of sounds like in Utah we say the mountains. You don't say the T. It's not a mountain.
Except for some reason, I went from an extremely thick accent from leaving the FLDS, and I know I still have an accent, but it's different.
Different than his brothers.
And I went from that to probably pronunciating more letters than most people from Utah. Like I will say mountain, even though most people there don't. So it's funny how that switched around. I think a lot of it came from me living in Chile for 2 years and speaking Spanish for the majority of that time. I came back from that and just had a different accent.
Yeah. Oregon. Oh, awesome. One of the funniest videos was when I dressed up as FLDS. Yeah, that was so fun. I thought it was awesome. I find like the braids that my sister-in-laws could do on my hair, I think are amazing. It's so fun for me. But then it was funny because we had another sister. So Teffy was here doing my hair, getting me dressed up. And then we had one of Sam's other sisters downstairs. And when I walked downstairs, I was like, can I go to dinner with this braid? And the look on her face, she was like triggered by it.
Very triggering.
And so she was like, are you okay? Would you mind just taking your hair out? Like, it makes me really uncomfortable. So I was like, of course, So I had to take out my hair right away. But I thought that was a super fun video as well.
Yeah.
Notes to self, Salt Lake.
Oh, hey, welcome.
The mountains.
Welcome.
The mountains.
The mountain.
Yeah. Welcome. We got good stuff with Notes to Self coming out tomorrow.
Yes, stay tuned for that.
Yes.
We're excited in the middle of all that fun stuff right now.
Yeah. Has Sam had any new interactions with family or friends from the FLDS? You want to give an update, babe?
Yes, I would. Define new, I guess. I do have some siblings that have recently moved out, and it's tricky because I would love to just invite all of my siblings onto our channel, let them share their experiences, but when they are most people, when they are freshly moving away from the FLDS, are very shy, and they are nervous about social media, the news, anything like this. They're very shy about being public. It takes some time. There are the unicorns that leave the FLDS and that are immediately ready to share their story. I was one of those that was completely open with where I was from, but I still had a very hard time speaking out publicly about it. And the main reason for that is because we were taught in the FLDS that media and that the internet and all those things are just really bad, and that they're full of lies, and that if anyone asks you to share anything about your life or about the FLDS, they're going to take your words and twist it so that it comes out differently than you meant. So it just takes some time for people to be willing to share their stories.
What's the latest things you've heard from family that's still in the FLDS?
So, oh boy. Unfortunately, Warren Jeffs is still writing his stuff from prison. And so that's going on. And I know I still have a lot of family that are involved with that and receiving these revelations. There's been a book that came out recently that Warren Jeffs put together, or at least we're hearing it's Warren Jeffs. There are other people within the FLDS church that believe it's coming from his son Helaman. And so they don't believe what the book is saying or the revelations are saying, and they just choose not to listen. So it's a little tricky. Some people believe, some people don't. My family still believe in Warren Jeffs, and they believe that what he is saying, the revelations that are coming out from the prison, are coming from him. So unfortunately, I'm very afraid for what might come here in the next 2027.
Yeah.
Is that when it is? He mentioned something about the FLDS people being translated, and in order to be translated, you must die first. That's just so contradicting when you think about what translation means from the Bible. And so that just makes me very afraid for what might be coming down the pipeline. I am in contact through different channels with people in the FLDS, but it's hard to get very many people to speak out against Warren Jeffs or to share the information they're getting, because it's meant to be very secretive.
Yeah. How did Sam learn how to speak Spanish? He served an LDS mission in Chile.
Yes.
Did I say right? Chile.
Yes, Chile. So it was hard. I didn't grow up. I didn't have a high school experience. I never learned any other languages. I got to the mission training center, and there were a lot of other missionaries there that were speaking some Spanish, like the high school Spanish, and they would say,
Yeah.
Hola, necesito el baño, and things like that. And I was like, whoa, what did you just say? I didn't know how to say agua. I knew nothing about Spanish. So most of my learning was just living in Chile and picking it up with the people there. So.
Yeah. As far as people saying like they've seen some videos, please send them our way. We love it when people suggest videos for us to react to or people to talk to. I saw someone else had mentioned they emailed us this morning, excuse me, about Notes to Self, which we just did an interview with them that's coming out tomorrow.
So stay tuned for that one.
Yes, so we love that. So,
but it was thanks to you guys for sending this information to us that we reached out to and were connected with Notes to Self. So thank you.
Yeah, we have people saying Teffy's interviews Brady Williams, a social worker from the Raid, top interviews. Thank you. We love that. Yes. Yeah. And feel free. I'm going to try to go through these comments as well as we can. If anybody wants to do a super chat, it puts it at the top, so it's a little easier to read. So if I miss anyone, I apologize, and we'll try to go through and be able to get to as many as we can.
We'll try to be on here for at least an hour.
Is Warren still alive?
Oh boy, that's a great question. Yes, he is. He is alive and not doing well from what I hear, though. And I know he's been in and out of the hospital. Some of the people that are still in the FLDS have recently reached out to me because they're like hearing that I have all this information. And so they reach out to me and said, hey, is Warren Jeffs okay? What's going on? And just the latest and greatest that I've heard, his mental state is not good. Obviously, it hasn't been for a very long time, considering what he has done. But his mental state is not good. His physical state is not great either, and he's been in and out of the hospital. So I know it's been a rocky road. And I think that if at any point he was released into general population within the prison, it would not go well for him.
Yeah, so Sam's siblings that are still in, he has about 15 siblings that have left, and there's about 20 that are still in.
Yeah.
As far as that goes. Oh, hi,
Almost half and half.
Ada.
Oh, Ada, hey.
In the house.
Ada Draper is here, everyone. Wow.
Have
Good to hear
either
from you.
Have either of us been to soda shops? Absolutely. So the first swig, so you see swig in like Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, the very first swig was actually 2 blocks away from my college campus in St. George, Utah. So the original swig was my happening place to be when I was in college, and
Yes.
absolutely I went there all the time.
Anyone from Utah has definitely been to Swig. I would almost bet money, almost catch that, almost bet money that everyone that lives in Utah has been at some point.
Yeah.
It's very popular.
Someone said, will you be covering Escaping Utopia, Gloriaville documentary? Is that a new documentary, Monique?
We did cover a Gloriaville documentary.
Escaping Utopia, though. If that's a new one, we would totally do that one as well. You want to write it down?
Yes. We love to take suggestions. So let me look at Escaping Utopia. Let me look that one up. Thank you.
What's your favorite coffee, babe?
Oh my goodness. My favorite.
Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Was there a question? Let me see if there was, or just a donation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can we see who that came from?
Yeah, let me go down there. Oh, sending love. There we go. And light. Do y'all have a Venmo, or y'all on Buy Me a Coffee, or a way for us to donate without it taking larger percentage like YouTube? Oh, that's so sweet.
Thank you so much. We do have a donor box, which you can find.
Well, but she's right. She's trying to get away from the fees. Yes, I will type my Venmo, Sam, and I would love for you to buy a coffee. That's so sweet of you to ask.
Well, there's actually a donation place called Buy Me a Coffee.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think
okay, that really is perfect for Sam. But I will put a Venmo down as well for anybody that wants to buy Sam or me a coffee.
Utopia.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat right now. So thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. And while I do that, let me see. Will you have Ben Brown, Cody's nephew, on the channel? He's a comedian.
Ooh.
Want to write that down too?
Well, geez, I'm going to be busy typing stuff here. I'm trying to look. Oh, okay. Escaping Utopia. Thank you for whoever sent that. Sorry, I didn't catch your name. Escaping Utopia is a new series. So that is definitely one we need to look up.
Okay. I just put into the chat our Venmo, and that's super cute and sweet. And we appreciate the super chat because that we'll definitely use that on a coffee date, Kay. So thank you so much.
And then, sorry, my favorite coffee, that is a very tricky one because I like so many different kinds of coffee. It's kind of a whole new world to me because I didn't drink coffee for so long. But I do like myself a good latte. I do always ask for half sweetener because for some reason, when I get a latte, they accidentally dump the whole bucket of sugar in there and it's always too sweet. So for me personally, I have to ask for half sweetener.
Yes, he does. It's pretty funny. I'm a chai tea lady. I never liked the smell of coffee before. I'm a super weirdo. And so when Sam started drinking coffee again, I was like, I've never had a chance to I was 30 years old and I never tried any coffees or teas or anything. So it was fun to experiment and find what I like. So now I like the chai tea lattes and I'm all about pumpkin. Sam will still mix it up a lot, but yeah. Let's see. Do you know how the conflict in Short Creek is going? Conflict between like the people who are trying to, I kind of know what you mean, like the developers and the people that have been there forever and them getting their houses back. Because that's still a little bit of an issue.
Is that the conflict, or are you referring to a new one? Can you let us know in the comments there?
Latter-day Film Guy.
And hey, good to hear from you again.
Fingers crossed for him to move to Gen Pop. Yes, I agree with you there.
Yes, and I think it will be sooner than later.
Unrelated question, do we have any pets?
Yes, we do. For anyone that doesn't know, we have a Bootsy, his
little kitty cat.
Our house cat. He is very close by. He's always wanting to be in our space, a part of everything, and he's asleep on the floor here next to us. So if you guys want a showing of Bootsy, if you would like him to appear in this live, let us know and we can go get him.
Yes. Someone, if you guys don't mind sharing what things mentioned in Word of Wisdom, have you tried caffeine, alcohol? So interestingly enough, caffeine's actually not in the Word of Wisdom. It's just hot drinks. So coffees and teas we've tried. We have tried alcohol. Experimenting is just learning it all at 30, learning what drinks are called what is kind of interesting.
I wish so badly we had a video camera when videoing us when we first tasted wine.
Yeah.
Especially Melissa. It was such a funny experience. She did not like it.
We're figuring it out as we go. But yeah.
Well, lots of super chats coming in.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Okay, so China Clay says, Been with you from the start. Thank you so much. How about it? Getting Melanie and Corey from Notes to Self. She's really working hard. She's from AUB. We did an interview with her this week. We have 2 videos coming out with them. The first one is tomorrow. Melanie and Corey, so sweet, so fun to talk to. So tomorrow at noon, we're gonna have the first part kind of their stories, and then next week we did a whole episode with them talking about sister wives because they have so much good insight. So
yeah, they know these people.
Like, yes.
We know their lifestyle, but she knows these people. So it was very interesting to hear her perspective. Both of their perspectives on the Sister Wife show.
Yes. So, and thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you,
so
China
sweet.
Clay.
And then Kay again for
Kay
review.
again, thank you.
Cult Justice on Hulu. Also, I think a comparison between I don't know how to say that, Nubians and FLDS would be cool. Both leaders are in Florence Supermax. I'll email if you want help. I would love you to email us.
Yes,
so
please.
growingupinpolygamy@gmail.com. Okay, that would be great. Send us all your recommendations. That's how we found Note to Self. China Clay, it was awesome. A bunch of you emailed us and said, hey, can you get them on? We emailed them. We were able to connect. So yes, please send us those in an email. It would be great.
And for anyone on right now, I just want to apologize. We have so many emails coming in these days. We try to keep up on them. But if any of you have emailed us and we haven't responded yet, we apologize. We'll try to catch up as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for reaching out, though.
Latter-day Film Guy says the conflict between the FLDS and those who move back after leaving.
Yes, I see. Is there anything specific you want to know? Because it's been a
we'll just give the overview.
A conflict between let's see.
Mostly FLDS that follow Warren Jeffs. Most of them left.
There are still more than I expected, actually. There are quite a few still living there, but they're kind of away from the community in their own little bubble, I guess you could say.
Well, you're talking.
They're in a even smaller bubble than the FLDS was, but they're still living in the community. So there's this constant people wondering, because there's those that have moved back to the FLDS community that still dress similar. And here is Bootsy. Oh, look how sleepy he is and so shy.
I know. I don't know why he's being shy. Are you looking at him?
He's never been on camera. Hi? Can you say hi, Bootsy?
Hi? Oh, look at him. He's hiding his head. Is it scary?
This is funny because when he comes over to our house, he is always super sociable with people coming. But for some reason, when it comes to cameras, we've never seen this. He's shy. Say hi, Bootsy.
Say hi.
Hey. You say hi? Oh, and he was half asleep. So.
Oh, did I wake you up? He was sleeping by our doorway, huh? You stay here for
That's
a second.
Funny. Anyway, so there's this. They're trying to figure out how to mingle with each other, because there's those that are believing in Warren Jeffs and those that grew up with it but no longer believe. So I guess overall, it is just a tricky way trying to figure out how to live and mingle together without actually believing in the same thing anymore.
Yeah.
I hope that answered your question. I don't know if there was something very specific you were asking about.
Yeah, let me get this back on there.
Okay, you got it.
See, yeah. Someone say they paid to see us try whiskey or moonshine. Oh, yeah. I will only try drinks because, the one good thing about starting to drink at 30 is you're not in it to try to get drunk or, I don't know, make stupid choices, right? We're just like trying it for flavor. And so I only drink things that taste really good and really fruity.
She likes
typically.
The fruity stuff.
Yeah.
I would say I do like wine. Not all wines, but there are some wines that I like.
And I agree with Simply Laura about trying like little bits here and there, sips and stuff. We have learned that the more expensive it is, the better it tastes. So that was something for sure.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
we got Katie. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you so much for the super chat.
Can you interview a wife or child for My 5 Wives?
Thank you. This has been a very much requested request. So we have a good relationship with Brady, and we will try to see that. It's been a little tricky because after the show, we had heard that his wives just felt like it was just way too much. And so we didn't want to pressure any of them to speak out or to talk more about it. So we will try to see if there is a respectful way to go about that. And if we can, of course, we would love to do that as well, because it's very interesting to us to see how this family, My 5 Wives family, is so different than all of the other polygamous families and wives, and just the relationship with them seems to be so different from the other ones we know. So we will definitely try, Katie. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know he's being so shy. Isn't that so funny? He's hiding his face,
Yeah, he's
which is
never been on
hilarious.
camera. We didn't realize he would be camera
Camera
shy.
shy. Do you think FLDS really left, or is it a smokescreen to stay out of the eyes of the world in the community? We have heard that some got left behind on purpose to kind of keep an eye out. So I don't know if it's a whole lot of them, but that has been something we've heard before.
Yeah,
Someone said
it's hard to say for sure.
Yeah, sorry that I interrupted
Oh,
you.
go ahead.
Just he's probably hiding from the bright lights. I know, it's so cute.
That's true.
Love access to a member list to the FLDS. I'd love to see how many of the relatives are still there. Hopefully none, but still.
I'll give you some insight on that really quick. There are actually members that are actively believing in Warren Jeff still to this day, and there's about 1,500 that still say, I would do anything he tells me to do. He is 100% speaking for God. And of those 1,500 people, I will tell you right now, there are quite a few of them that are just as confused as the rest of us on what's going on who of the other people still believe in Warren Jeffs, are these teachings coming from Warren Jeffs or not. There are so many people and so much confusion about what's going on. So it's hard to know for sure.
White Russians are good. Nice sweet fruit wine is good after a long day.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotta go Diet Dr. Pepper. That's what I have right here. Well, now I'm doing Dr. Pepper Zero because I feel like it tastes even better. Have we tried a margarita? Have tried a margarita.
Yeah.
Yes, which is good. Let me see.
Those are good. Melissa likes the fruity, more fruity the better.
Yes, for sure. I don't know why it's has where they make sweet potato vodka.
Oh,
interesting. Most wine tastes better with Sprite in it. That's good to know as well.
See, this is all the information you probably grew up with and learned about over the years, and we're noobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe one of the adult children. Yeah, that's a good point, Katie.
Oh, someone asked about the Black family. How the Black family's doing. Last we heard they're doing well. I know that Jeff is still having he's having
they've
some
gone
health
through
stuff.
Quite a bit. Well, and the wife did as well. They've both gone through quite a bit. It has not been an easy road for them. That's something maybe we need an update on them and how they're doing. Yeah. But thank you for asking. We'll reach out and let people know that people are asking about them. Yeah.
Let's see. Either of you try White Russian? I have not tried a White Russian. Have you?
I've honestly never heard of it. So new information.
Babe, do you think your parents might leave soon? Is it like the wall is breaking?
So my father is 84 years old at this point, and I think that he just feels that he is stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's had so many of his family, of his kids, leave the church. He still has his wives, those of his wives that are still alive, in the church and still following Warren Jeffs, and over half of his children. So he's just in this very interesting place at the age that he is, where I personally, I'm not speaking on his behalf, but I'm just imagining that he doesn't feel that it'd be worth it to try to leave or do anything different at this point, because it's just, he's lived his whole life believing in this, teaching his family about this, and he still has so many of his family still believing in it.
Absolutely. Jenny H from Vegas.
Oh, hey.
Dr. Pepper cream soda is delicious and amazing. And I don't know if you've noticed, if anybody lives in Utah or Las Vegas area, every once in a while at Walmart, they have like the famous drink at Swig is the Dirty Dr. Pepper with like coconut cream. And Dr. Pepper came out with one over the summer that was basically a Dirty Dr. Pepper, which cracked me up. But I think it was only available in like Utah and Nevada and some other places.
So wait, you said Dr. Pepper with what?
Coconut and cream.
Oh, so that makes it a Dirty Dr. Pepper?
Yep, that's what Swig does too. Anyway, for the ones that left the FLDS, did they go to other fundamental groups? Typically, you see two things happen. Either if they're still living plural marriage, they just kind of independently do their own thing with their plural family.
Yep.
Or a lot of times, if they're not in plural marriage, then a lot of them will convert to the mainstream LDS church. That's really common as well.
Becoming more common. And I think that most of them that leave the fundamentalist groups, they leave because of just how strict and crazy things are. So I think for the most part, they're not looking for something else like that. And even for those that join the mainstream LDS church, I don't think they're necessarily looking for it at first, but because of their familiarity with it, eventually they just come to know of it, and then they are converted or something like that. But for me, I wasn't looking for another church to join. It just so happened that I was introduced to the church, and then later ended up joining the church because I felt like it was the right thing for me at the time.
Yeah. Lisa, thank you so much for the super chat.
Yes,
Are
thank you,
people
Lisa.
still not having children in the FLDS?
Oh my goodness. So the people that I know that still follow Warren Jeffs and that I am able to get some information from are not having children. There have been a lot of rumors floating around that through Warren Jeffs' revelations, if you want to call them that, slash Helaman's information, because he's the one passing out the revelations, that they will be starting that up again. And I even heard from someone recently that marriages have started again. That is happening, which I imagine if they're starting the marriages again, they're also going to be having kids.
Yeah. So we'll definitely keep you posted on that.
I haven't personally seen with my own eyes a new FLDS baby. I'll say that.
Yeah. Are there any other races living in Hilldale or Colorado City yet? So actually,
Yes.
the director of the Dream Center, she is African American.
I forget where.
I'm trying.
Huh.
But she was telling us a little bit about how it's been interesting to be able to like teach and inform people, because that whole community has really never seen anybody of a different race.
Yeah.
And how I think she's the perfect person to do it, because she's not easily offended and she's very much more an educator. And so she'll be like,
she's so cool.
She's so cool and so nice. And she's very good at being patient with these people, because it's more out of ignorance than what it is like them trying to be mean or judgmental. Like that's how they grew up, being judgmental of other races. And she's so kind and sweet and thoughtful about the way that she like corrects them or like lets them ask questions and like opens up space for conversation. So
yeah, I think through her example, a lot of people are realizing that the way that they were taught this racist idea of living is not at all the way that life should be, that there are a lot of good people from other races. I think she's a great example, and a lot of people within the FLDS are realizing, oh, wait a minute, this isn't what we were told growing up is not true.
Yeah.
So it's very nice to see that.
Going into holidays, how can we support folks leaving the FLDS? I remember last year you guys did a fundraiser to raise funds for a room at the Dream Center. Yes. And someone else asked how the room is coming along. So it is coming along well. We just talked to them a couple weeks ago, and they said it should be getting finished soon here.
So we went out and we took before video already. And as soon as they say it is done, there has been a lot of things going on, at least so we've been told. So we've been told within the Dream Center that is kind of been pushing it back. But I hear it's almost done. As soon as it is, we'll make a drive back out there and get some more footage of it and share it with you all, so you can see what your donations went to. Thank you for asking that. And we're so sorry that it's been taking as long as it has.
Yes. Also for this, I just messed up my chat. I think somebody had asked though about this Christmas. So we've kind of been going every other year between the Dream Center and Holding Out Help. So this year our plan is to do a fundraiser for Holding Out Help.
Yes.
So we will start that. We typically start it right around Thanksgiving and we go through the end of the year. And so
yeah, stay tuned for that if you are wanting to donate to those people leaving these fundamentalist groups, because the Holding Out Help organization is an amazing one there with Tanya, and she is helping so many people from FLDS and so many other fundamentalist polygamous groups. So stay tuned. We will definitely be doing something.
Latter-day Film Guy says, I do have sympathy for those who've been lifelong members long before Jeff's, who now feel an obligation to stay. And that's like Sam's parents, right? Like those people who've been there forever. If you've been a member for 84 years, it's almost like what good can come from leaving at this point? I hate to say it that way, but it's tough.
I think that's my father's idea. My mother, on the other hand, I think that I don't know. I mean, she could have the craziest experience that was evidence and proof that the FLDS church is wrong. And I don't think at this point would even consider it. She is so convinced to the point that even though I am married to an outsider, we have kids together with this great life outside, and I've been out now for about 16 years, if I'm not mistaken. If I ever have a chance to even briefly talk to her, which I haven't for a while, but if I do, she would and has just said over and over, please come back. You know, this is the truth. You know, this is where you belong. How could you possibly leave this behind? So she is just so convinced that it's the truth.
Yeah. Will Melissa style her hair in Secret Life of Mormon Wives middle part loose waves? Well, on request, I for sure will.
Okay. Well, I think she will now.
I know. Middle parts, my hair has like a natural part over here. And so middle part might be a little rough, but we could make that work. The waves for sure. For sure I can do. I don't normally whenever I curl my hair, I curl all the way to the end, which is not very Utah of me.
Right. You got to just leave
I have to leave the end a little bit straight and pull it a little bit more. But you know what? Maybe next video I'll bust that out. Let's see. I love you so much. Well, you have such compassion. Thank you so much, you guys, for all these sweet comments.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Someone said one of the people who left Scientology left at 74 and it was hard. He had some killer cinematic skills, so it helped, but he definitely struggled. Yes, it can be a huge struggle.
I cannot imagine. I mean, I left the month I turned 18, I was gone. So I can't imagine being some of these people that are leaving much later in life. It would just be so hard.
Yeah. Carolyn and her clothes says, I know you know this, but you don't have to like alcohol or caffeine or whatever you're restricted to while in Mormonism. Just the fact you have a choice and it's your choice to have it or not.
Amen.
Thank you. Amen to that. Yes. And that's another thing, like just having the opportunity to try things and decide if it's something we like, whether it's we like the taste of, whether we like the way it makes us feel or not, is the cool part to that. And
yeah, and we know lots of people that are not even religious really and choose not to drink certain things and eat certain things. And that that's perfectly fine. We have nothing against someone that chooses not to drink coffee or alcohol or any of that.
Yeah, like I said, I don't like coffee anyway. Right. So yeah, it's all up to being able to have those choices be yours. From financial.
Sorry if we skipped any of these comments. We're trying to keep up here.
Yeah, let's see. It's tough.
Someone asked if I have family in Canada. So I know for a fact I have people I'm related to in Canada because of the Winston Blackmore group up there in Bountiful. I have never gone to Canada, or sorry, I have been to Canada, but I have not been to Bountiful. And I don't know if or how related I am to them, but because they are from the FLDS, I'm sure there's some kind of relation there.
People are liking your glasses, babe.
Oh, thank you.
So
I don't generally wear glasses, but on a live, in order to read any of these comments, I have to wear them. So I guess I'm getting older.
Any new revelations or rumors about them? Not since the last big one.
Nothing really noteworthy. Let's say that. There have been new things coming out, but nothing that we feel is important to share without just coming across as trying to spread his teachings, which of course we don't want to do that.
Someone says, I need the extensions. I know, right? Seriously, we couldn't move back to Utah because it's expensive to like do all the things that all the Mormon moms do. Because my hair is pretty long naturally, but the thing is, they add so much because that's what gives them the volume.
All the volume, the thick hair.
It's all the volume, the thick hair. Because I remember before I realized they were extensions, and this was years ago, I went to someone and I was like, I don't understand how their hair can have so much volume. And someone was like, well, it's not their real hair, it's extensions. And I wasn't realizing that the volume that they get in their hair is from the extension. That's not just the length, because you can have long hair and never be able to accomplish the looks that you can when you add a ton of fake hair in there. So
it's pretty obvious though. It seems when you see these Utah moms, it's pretty clear who's from Utah. It seems like, right? I mean, they definitely have a way to do it.
Yeah. Don't Mormons use a lot of extensions? It just depends. I mean, I think
not
it's
all, but a lot do.
Yeah. And I think it's a lot like a Utah cultural thing. I heard it worded really well because I think even more than Mormon moms, like everybody in Utah does it, whether they're LDS or not. But I heard someone once say that they moved from Utah somewhere else and they realized how expensive all of those services are in other states. And in Utah, because there are so many, like, you'll have stay-at-home moms who do eyelashes from their house, who do eyebrows from their house, who do hair from their house.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of like, it can be affordable. I mean, it's still expensive, but like it can be affordable to get all of the things done in Utah. And this person was saying, well, yeah, when I moved out of Utah, like I couldn't afford to get my hair and my nails and my eyebrows and my eyelashes and all these things done because everywhere else it's super expensive. But because there's such demand, there's a lot of people who can do it in Utah. So I've heard that also kind of helps with people being able to do all the things in Utah, which I think is funny.
I'm curious about this one. Lynn says, hey, y'all, glad to have found your page. Thank you, Lynn. Wonder if you have read or heard of How to Leave the Mormon Church by Alyssa Granfell. Well, we know Alyssa Granfell.
Yeah, Sam
But
was on her channel recently.
I met with her out in Colorado City, Hilldale area, and gave her a tour, and I believe she has that on her channel. But I have not heard of this book. Have you?
No.
Huh.
We'll have to look it up for sure. Have we watched the South Park episode all about the Mormons? We have.
It
I've
took me
definitely
a
seen that.
long time to muster up the courage to watch it for some reason, even after we had moved out.
Because you know that they're going to be making fun of it, and it's
Right.
still like like it's weird to say, like it's still our culture, right? And it's still like our heritage and where we come from. But my story with it is a little bit different because when I was like 18 years old and very much like every member a missionary, and I would always try to teach friends that weren't members about the church. And I had a friend that made a bet with me and said, well, not a bet, but a deal, and said that if I would watch that episode of South Park with him, he would go to the temple's visitor center with me. And so I was like, sure, that sounds like a deal. So I watched it like 18. And as they were saying in the show, I would like pause and be like, that's not true. Like Joseph Smith didn't look at a stone in a hat. Like that's not true. And there were a lot of things that I said weren't true because I didn't know that I've later found out were true in there. So obviously South Park is definitely mocking. They mock everybody, right?
Right. But it's South Park. You would expect that.
Yeah. But I did have my friend come to the Temple Visitor Center, which to me at 18 was a huge win to get him into the visitor center to go hear our side of it. So
I think it's pretty common, though. That's a good example to use. I think it's pretty common for active LDS members to not necessarily know all of the things that other people are talking about on like the shows and different things, because were so many things that, like I didn't think were true, but then once you dig a little deeper, you can find out, like the seer stone in the hat and that oh wow, that did happen. So it was a very interesting for me to see the South Park episode later on.
Yeah. What are our favorite non-cult related shows and movies? Thank you for asking. Sometimes I feel like we're watching so many like reaction videos and things like that yeah, sometimes I feel like a lot of the stuff we are. But right now, our show is Bones. We're going clear back to Bones. And
older show.
Yeah, and Sam had never seen it. And so we started that. We like a lot of cop shows, murder shows.
Just like the investigating type shows.
Yeah, those type of shows.
So,
movies, actiony.
We like action movies. We also like the feel-good movies, the suspense stuff once in a while.
Yeah, but I'd say most of ours is like, if it can be a comedy action would be, I'd say, our prime genre of movie.
What's the one called with Tom Cruise? Day and Night or something?
Oh, it's not Tom Cruise. It's with I can't remember, but Day and Night that we watched on our first date.
Yes, that one.
Or we watched some of it in between him trying to get smooches.
Hey,
shouldn't say trying.
That never happened.
I want to read your book. We'd love it. Yes, thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. We're trying to get through as many comments as we can. If anybody leaves a super chat, it pops it up for us. So if you really want us to be able to respond to it, we'll definitely respond to all the super chats. If not, we're just trying to get through. But thank you guys so much for being here. Hi from Ghana. Hello.
Wow. This is amazing. So many people from all over the world. I love this. Yeah. It's our dream to just travel the world. It's our ultimate dream to see all the places. Yeah.
Do you remember? Oh yeah, congrats, Ada. Ada's getting married soon.
Yes.
Love when we were on Mormon Stories. You and John are great. Thank you so much. So sweet. Love Bones. Yeah, NCIS. That kind of stuff. We haven't seen NCIS yet, but we do like to go back to some of those. Oh, Michelle, thank you so much for the super chat.
Just saying hi.
Thank
you, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
And thank you for being here for so long. We've seen your name in a lot of comments and things. So thank you.
Yes, Michelle has been a subscriber for a long time. So we really appreciate that, Michelle. Thank you so much. Bones is great.
Yeah, we're still getting through it. I haven't seen it all the way through yet, so don't spoil anything.
Elementary. Yes, I've heard Elementary is good. We haven't seen it yet, but it's definitely one of the lists. There's a lot that, like Bones, I started watching when it first came out and like in college. And then a lot of those shows, Sam didn't have a chance to see. So it's fun to go back and watch some of those with him. We really liked The Mentalist.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Mentalist that's a good one. So good. Ooh, his character is so good.
Be prepared for
all the things.
Yes, everything you can imagine. We'll just say that. Enjoy that one. Oh, hey, Dreamcatcher. Thank you for becoming a member today, and you made it on our live.
Yes.
Glad you could make it.
ever in Belgium, definitely give a tour of Brussels. I know so we really want to get to Europe with Sam. I've been to Europe once before, and I've been to Belgium. It's so pretty. But yeah, when we're like, man, if we go over there, I don't know how we need to be able to like meet up with some
We have
people
so many
over
people
there.
from over
So
in the
sweet.
UK area. So many people that we want to say hi to. So maybe
Yeah.
we can plan a get together of some kind.
Yeah, that'd be so fun. Buy an RV and take the podcast on the road. You have no
Oh,
idea how many
that
times this
is
conversation comes up in our house. About every couple months, it gets brought up. Like, what if we could do this from the road, right? Like, let's go and take our kids on a grand adventure. They're the perfect young age right now.
and we're thinking we can do this from anywhere. It's a little nerve-wracking, though, to think of just leaving everything behind. But man, we have considered it so many
Yeah.
times.
Oh, Dreamcatcher, thank you so much for the super
Oh,
chat. New
thank you,
member, just
thank
want to
you.
say I love you both. Really nice people from Liverpool.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you so
you. Thank
much,
you again.
Dreamcatcher. So sweet. And again, thanks for becoming a new member. We really appreciate it, you guys. All the support, subscribing, and membership, and it just means
Yes.
so much to us. We had no idea when Sam. I don't know if it's been a while since we've shared this on as far as the story of us starting this whole YouTube channel, but like 5 years ago, I bought a mic and a camera, and I shoved Sam into our guest bedroom and was like, "Here, go film your story.
Tell your story,
Tell your
babe.
story."
And I sat down and I said, "Hi, I'm Sam. I don't know what to say." That was as far as I got.
He came out like a half hour later, and he's like, "Absolutely not.
I
This is
had
not gonna
created
happen."
about 105 intros to what I might talk about, and none of them sounded natural, or I just didn't know what to say. So
Yeah.
I came out and I said, "Babe, I'm begging you. If I'm going to tell my story, I have to have you there asking questions, making me think about things within the church, within the FLDS church to talk about."
And
So
it was a while later, wasn't it? Almost a year
that
later
we
that finally
started.
we started doing it together, and here we are now. So,
Yeah.
but it's all because you guys for tuning in and watching and supporting us. So that's super sweet. This is fun. Will
Yes.
you do more lives? We're gonna try to do more lives. We really want to. We're kind of gonna shoot for probably one a month on a
Yes,
Friday
if
like this, if
possible. Some months
possible.
get away from us, but if we can,
Going into holiday season, we'll see what we can make happen.
yes, but
But
we want to do more lives for sure. Thank you for that. And a lot of people have asked if we're going to do more. Is Friday at this time? Is this a good time? Because if we do become more consistent with these, we want to make sure it works for people.
yeah, Sam, did you grow up believing Adam God theory? And when you
Yes.
converted to the LDS, did you still believe that doctrine? And what are my thoughts on it? When Sam told me, y'all are great. Okay, so this is a fun topic. So he grew up with it. Me, it wasn't until I was starting to like do some research into church history, when Sam and I were kind of having our faith transition, and I was like, "Have you heard of this?"
She
Like,
didn't realize I had believed that.
I didn't know that Sam had believed it, and so we're like
Yeah.
5 years into our marriage, and I'm bringing this up as a concerning thing to me, and he's like, "That's what I was always like. That's what I was taught."
It's a Brigham Young teaching.
Mhm.
And so within the FLDS church, they love Brigham Young.
Yeah.
And they just hold tight to all of his teachings, the Journal of Discourses, and different things like that. And so, yes, the Adam God theory was very much taught in my house. I believed it. I honestly, even after joining the mainstream LDS church, I did not fully understand that they did not believe that. I still thought they did. And so I just went along with, my original teachings. And I believe that's one of the reasons that in order to be baptized in the mainstream LDS church, we were supposed to, or we weren't supposed to, we did. I went and met with Elder Holland, an apostle of the church, to kind of make sure that I understood that, hey, a lot of these teachings that you were raised with are of the past. It's not something we do anymore. So it was a great conversation. It was just very chill, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, it's
And
mostly about polygamy, though.
yeah, but I just for some reason didn't really catch on that the Adam God theory was not being taught anymore until I think I was on my mission.
Well, it's definitely considered more of like a deep doctrine thing. Like, no missionaries are going to talk about. I would bet you that most of the missionaries right now are 18-year-old boys have no idea what the Adam God theory even is.
Right.
Actually, I'd be willing to bet a lot of money on that because there's been some recently because they know they can always stop by our house and grab waters or Gatorades and stuff. And so we have the missionaries stop by somewhat frequently. And some of them don't even know that there are polygamists in Utah. So
yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if you're not, and the church doesn't talk about a lot of these things all the time. I mean, it's not
it's
a
not their
topic
primary
they want
focus.
to be focused on, and so many people are raised not really knowing about a lot of these things, like polygamy, for example. Polygamy is a big one that is just not talked about much.
So it said, hi from Wales. Come here because we
Hello,
have castles and
hello.
dragons. That's exactly
I
why we want to go
know. That's
there.
exact
Castles and dragons.
and cool weather, because it's hot here and it's fall time and I want cool weather.
Do we watch true crime? We do not. So here's my weird line. I like cop shows that are like TV 14, because if it like true crime, psychos freak me out. I
He does
don't
not like things that are too realistic.
like demons or something that's far off. But whenever it's like psychos or real crimes, that like makes me, oh, I don't know. I just can't handle it as much.
It's hard to accept that something like that could happen in real life.
Yes, and especially since becoming a mom, my like tolerance is even lower. Like there's something I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't even want to hear. I don't want to know that is something that happened. So not on true crime a whole lot. Murders in the Building on Hulu, we haven't, but we need to add it to our list for sure.
We're thinking of watching. Have you guys seen the new movie Fallout Guy?
No, The Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy, yes. Have you guys seen the new movie Fall Guy? We're thinking of watching that for our part of our date tonight.
Yeah.
If you've seen it, let us know if you liked it.
Yeah, someone said, what's the thing you enjoyed the least about leaving the FLDS and Mormon church?
Enjoyed the least about so just like the hardest things
Probably
about
the hardest
leaving.
thing, yeah.
For the FLDS church, 100% just the losing your family. That was the hardest part. I underestimated how hard that would be, because I'm a teenager. I'm 18 years old, and I'm just making this big life decision that I no longer want to deal with the rules and the things that the church is forcing upon me. I leave not really understanding how hard it would be to not be able to go back, to not be able to have that connection with my family and loved ones. Very, very difficult.
Yeah. As far as leaving the Mormon church, I would say for us, it would be disappointing family members.
Yeah.
How hard it was on other people. And then the community. The community that you have within the church, like having your ward members and that was hard. Someone says, okay, this person's totally on our same wavelength. If you want to laugh, watch Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory is currently our laugh show. We always have like a more serious show and then a show that is for laughing. Big Bang Theory, and you're rewatching The Mentalist. So that's exactly us.
Okay, yeah.
I'll be your tour guide in Liverpool. See if we can. We just need to we'll go to Europe, and we will go from country to country, and maybe we just need to do like a lunch meetup or something for anybody that wants to come meet up.
The nice thing too is, so I hear, I've never been, but I have looked at a map, and Europe in general, like they're just, all the countries are so close. I feel like there would be a good central place to meet.
Yeah. What are you dressing up for Halloween? I have no idea yet.
I know we're putting bat wings on our cat, Bootsy.
Yeah.
I know that much.
Oh, thank you for a super chat, Manny.
Yes,
thank you,
Manny.
Germany. Wow. Perfect stream time. Oh, awesome.
Oh, good to know. Thank you for letting us know. That's good.
I'm so glad that it's working well for all of our friends across the pond.
Yes.
See, why do I feel like I need to say that with an accent? Not that I can do an accent, but across the pond.
That's probably not how the accent is, but it sounds good to me.
Oh, thank you guys so much for all of these sweet. There's so many that are saying so many sweet things about us. We really appreciate.
Just so you know, if we're not able to read all of these during the live, we will go back and look at them. So thank you for all of your comments.
Would you ever consider doing an interview with a current member of the FLDS, like an interview with you and a member? Absolutely, we would. It's just hard to find
if we can get someone to agree to it. I will say it's becoming more possible to show up in the FLDS community and find someone that still says they believe in Warren Jeffs and are willing to talk to you even with a camera, because they are in this interesting place where they're not sure what is going on in the church, because they don't believe the revelations that are coming from prison. So they just assume that Warren Jeffs is stuck in prison. They're not hearing from him. So they're trying to just live the best life they can based on the teachings they had before he went to prison. And so those people are seeming a little bit more open to talking. So maybe that's just time to go out there and see if there's anyone like that.
Yeah. Bootsy may be plotting his revenge for waking him up from his nap.
Yeah, he's sound
except
asleep
for the
again.
fact that he's sound asleep right back in his spot where I grabbed him from. So, he's like, wait, you said my name.
Anyone out there that has a cat, does your cat do horizontal running when they're trying to say hi to you? He meows and yawns when we walk into a room and moves his legs as he's laying on his side as though he's horizontally running. It is so funny.
So funny. I love all of you that are saying that you'll show us around your country. I love it. Sweden.
Yes. Oh, is that
Sam?
Scotland? Ooh.
Oh, Scotland. So
I'm like, not quite half, but I'm like 30% Scottish.
Yeah, Sam is very Scottish. We go to the Highland Games here in Las Vegas every time. We want to get to Scotland so badly. Honestly, we should just see. Okay, all of these places. We just need to forget life.
Forget that life costs money.
That life costs money, and we're just gonna go travel. Okay.
Let's just get a little backpack and just backpack Europe. Let's just forget about everything else.
Grab our kids in our bootsy and put them, and we'll just go. No, that's awesome. And yes, Sam does have a lot of family from Sweden.
Yeah. So my great grandfather was a carpenter in Sweden, and he brought his family over the ocean and joined the Mormon church and came to Utah.
All the way to Utah.
And that was the beginning of the Zitting line here in Utah and a part of the church.
Yeah. I saw someone say, did Sam ever know someone who converted? So his first mother converted to the church.
Oh,
she
yes.
was mainstream LDS.
So my father's first wife. Yeah. Yes. So not my mother, but another mother was a mainstream LDS, and she left the mainstream LDS church because she says that she felt that there was just something missing, that it didn't hold fast to the original doctrines, is what she said. And so she went looking for the truth, ended up joining the FLDS church, and then not too long after that was in sort of an arranged marriage to marry my father.
Yeah, people are saying that we could take the summer, which would be perfect because we hate the summers here. Well, I don't hate. It can get long and hot.
Strong word, but yes.
But the strong word totally applies to Sam. Sam hates the summers here in Vegas, and we would love to go and just spend a whole summer in Europe. Yeah, that would be amazing.
I even try to not say negative things all the time, but I try so hard, and then it just all comes out at once, and I'm just like, I hate this.
But it's the middle of October, and it just barely got under 100 degrees. It's like 95, 98 degrees. So there is a certain point where you're like, okay, weather, it's time to move on to something different.
There's a lot of good things about living in Las Vegas. It's just so much here, so much to do with your family. There's so many things. Even if you never go down to the touristy area on the Strip, there's just so much to do in a big city like this. But man, the summers are hard.
Someone said we need to go there to interview people. Okay, honestly, we've talked about this before, that if we did kind of go do a tour of some places and find different groups to talk to people, it would be so fun and interesting.
Are they saying going to the
UK and interview people? So it's for work.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, exactly, right? It's a work trip.
Tax write-off.
Yeah, exactly, right? What's your Swedish grandfather's name? It's still Zitting.
Zitting,
right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Zitting. Zitting. And I don't know that he was born in Sweden. I think he moved there with his family a little bit later from Norway, maybe. Maybe someone can help me out. If you know of the last name Zitting in Europe and you know where it comes from, I would love to know more about that.
Someone says every time you say the other mother. Okay, the first time when Sam and I were dating and he was like, yeah, that's my brother from another mother. And I lost it. I thought it was the funniest thing ever because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's never applied so perfectly as this. Literally his brother from the other mother.
That's true. Someone asked, why do we live in Las Vegas if I hate the heat?
It's a great question. Well, it's a great question that we ask ourselves. No, I'm just kidding.
So originally we
have a reason.
Sorry. We moved here for my job at the time. And so that's what brought us here. We thought we would be here for 1 year and then we would be moving on. It was just a stepping stone.
And that was 5 years ago.
That was 5 years ago. And here we are. But now the reason it's so difficult to even consider moving is because Melissa's parents live here as well. And so, grandparents so close to us, and our kids have grown up with their grandparents 5 minutes away. It's just, at this point, it's hard to consider moving away.
They have such a good relationship. Like our kids and my parents have like the dream, everything you'd hope for from grandparents. Our kids and them have that. And so now at this point, my parents are like 3 or 4 years away from retiring. And so they just keep saying, they're like, give us 3 years, stay here, and then we'll follow you. as long as you go somewhere that has nice weather.
So where should we move?
Where should we move is a
in 3 years.
in 3
Where
years.
should we move? Let us
Hi,
know.
Addie. Addie's on.
Oh,
Hi,
Addie.
Addie.
Hey. How's that baby?
Yes, how's your baby? And also, by the way, our tumblers, we had them in a different live a couple days ago, and everyone thought the tumblers were the cutest thing ever. And we were like,
this is thanks to Addie right here.
Yes.
We both got one of these.
Look how cute. She's so sweet.
Thank you again. We use them literally every day, all day. We are always with them. So thank you again.
Arkansas summers are torture, hot and humid. Okay, we'll cross that off the list. So not Arkansas.
That sounds awful.
Wet and not that warm, so you'll do well. So here we go. In England, we could just move to England.
Just straight over to the pond. Okay.
Well, at least you do not have to worry about hurricanes in the summer. That is very true.
Amen.
Here's the nice thing. And we also don't have bugs here. Okay, so we don't have bugs.
Not even bugs can survive, guys. That's how hot it is here. Bugs are like, I'm not staying here. I'm out.
I know you refer to your dad and mom as father and mother. What about things like aunt and uncle? Do you use those terms to refer to them as brother and sister?
And no, we would use aunt and uncle. Yes, we would. That's an interesting question. I have not really thought about that. But yes, also interestingly the thing about that is we would say uncle to those in authority, those leaders of the church. Like, for example, if I went to the FLDS community and I said, hey, what do you think about Warren Jeffs? They would immediately know that I am not a part of their group. I have no idea what I'm talking about by saying Warren Jeffs. I would have to say, what do you think about Uncle Warren? If I say those words, they're going to think, oh my gosh, this guy, he knows what he's talking about. He's a part of this group. So they use Uncle Warren and Uncle Fred. He was the bishop. They use uncle instead of the prophet Warren or something like that.
Yeah. Are you guys recognized when you go out and about? I feel like you'd be celebrities here in Salt Lake.
We don't go to Salt Lake very often.
Yeah.
But we do get noticed even here in Las Vegas sometimes.
Every once in a while, but I will never get used to it. And it's pretty few and far between, I feel like. There have been times where we go to St. George, Utah, and I feel like we get more recognized there by random people. We've had more interactions when we've been visiting where people come up to us. But in Vegas, it's pretty few and far between. But every time it shocks me. Right. Every time. Like one time I thought the lady was asking you for your cart.
Yes.
Remember we were in the parking lot of Costco?
We were entering Costco and I was pushing a cart. And this lady walked over towards us with her kids, and we thought that she was asking for something or asking to use the cart or something like that, which people do sometimes. And no, she was coming to say hi because she recognized us. And it's just, we apologize to anyone out there in advance if we seem shocked, because for some reason we just forget that anyone knows us from this YouTube, and we don't really know how to act when people say hi.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Don't move to New York unless you want to pay high taxes. That's another good thing. See, there's a big pro list for Nevada. We don't have state income tax, which is pretty great. We don't, I don't know. The downfalls is the heat, and I would say high schools, like school system here in Nevada is not great. We have our kids in an awesome elementary school that goes through middle. So we're really lucky with that. But we are a little worried about high school here. But other than that, we've really liked a lot of other things.
And hey,
and the winters are great.
Once, let's see, towards the end of October rolls around, we have great weather until March, end of March, maybe even April, till about mid-April, we have great weather.
Great weather.
So we just have to suffer through those summers.
Yeah. Lynn says, have we been in contact with Notes to Self 444? Not only have we've done an interview, and tomorrow at noon, we will have our first interview with Notes to Self 444. Thank you all for reaching out to us, emailing us, telling us about them. So sweet, so nice. We had a great interview, and it's coming out tomorrow.
If Notes to Self is still on this live listening, there you go. That we were telling you that we were reaching out because so many people wanted us to reach out to you and interview you. Here you go. Here's your proof that so many people are interested in hearing more of your story. So we're very excited about that.
Yes, so sweet. People saying winters are hard in other places.
Yeah, that's true. And people keep telling me that. I've always dreamt of snow. I've always loved snow. In Colorado City and Hilldale, where I was raised, we would get, I would say on average, maybe 8 inches of snow at a time on the ground during some winters. And I always loved it, even as a kid, and then into adulthood. I've always loved snow for some reason.
Yeah. Question. Do you celebrate Christmas and birthdays now with each other and your children? And did you used to when you were in the church? So start with.
In the FLDS church, we were not allowed to celebrate anything. Even birthdays, we would. Yes. Okay. I guess define celebrate. we were recognized on our birthdays. And for example, my mother would make me a cheesecake every year for my birthday. And to this day, I don't know that I've ever found a cheesecake that I like as much as hers. And maybe it's just because I was raised with it, and it was just such a special moment to get that recognition. Because with that many kids and with a church like that, where it's all about the afterlife, there's not a whole lot of moments where you can feel like you are the one that is important. That it's so having a day that was about you was such a big deal. We did not celebrate any type of Christmas or Halloween, or we did when I was a kid celebrate Thanksgiving and the 4th of July. But those were the only two things. And when Warren Jeffs took over as prophet of the church, he, of course, took those away too, because that was too enjoyable.
In the mainstream LDS, we did celebrate. And Sam, because he never got Christmases growing up, he likes to start singing Christmas songs in July. He's already started Christmas singing. And we love celebrating Christmas. My family has lots of Christmas traditions. So he loved hopping into a family that had lots of traditions and goes big with birthdays and big with Christmas and big with every holiday. And so
every time about towards the end of July, when Costco and Walmart starts putting up their Christmas decorations and the bells start ringing, I'm like, yes, it's Christmas time. It's here. It's 120 degrees outside, but man, it feels like Christmas.
Oh, note to self that was able to hear. It feels weird to hear it too. Thank you both so much.
Of course. Yes. Thanks for being on again.
Yep. And we've had people email us notes to self just this morning. We had more people emailing us saying, hey, you need to talk to them. So we're so excited to have that interview come out tomorrow. So check it out. Check out Notes to Self, their channel. And yeah, we're really excited. It was so fun. It was fun to talk about sister wives too, with people who know so much more than we do. I mean, we have like the reality TV side, but they know what it's really like. They know a lot of the Browns. It was fun. It was a good learning experience. I have a feeling
people will be asking Notes to Self back on for more information after this comes out. So be prepared.
Yeah. Lived in Texas.
Another Sam out there. Sam's Book Live.
People say you look like Clark Kent, babe.
Ooh, all right. Thank you. I'll take that.
Someone said they thought their first Q&A. Sorry, my thing's like right in the way of this. Okay. My first Q&A ever with anyone. I always thought it would be boring, but I'm loving this. Oh, thanks, you, John Denver.
Is that your actual name? That is amazing.
That is. I love John Denver's music. Yeah, so fun. Made it to a live. Welcome for anyone who's just hopping on. Feel free to leave questions or comments or anything you want in the comment section or in the chat. And then we're trying to get through as many as we can, but if you do a super chat, it brings it to the top. And so that makes sure that we'll respond to it and that we can see it. But even without that, we'll be able to try to get through as many as we can. We're going to be on for about 10 more minutes. And then I can't believe it's already been an hour, which is crazy.
When we have this many people on our lives, it goes a lot quicker than when we only have a couple for our members. But thank you all so much for being here. Latter-day Saint film guy. Thank you so much for asking that. We have access to a lot of history, the Zitting history and all of that. I just don't have it all memorized right now. So I can get that information. And we've been actually considering doing a video where we pull up the tree, this big family tree and discuss different things. And it's just going to take a lot of research and time to get that presentation prepared, but we do want to do that.
Well, and Sam's family, like we've been to the Family History Center in St. George. Well, when I was single and working and I first moved to Northern Utah for a job, so I had no friends or family or anything up there, I'd go to the Family History Center and do my family's genealogy, which my family kind of looks like a bush. There's adoptions a few generations back, people who've never met their parents. So it's like a lot of work. And then we went to go enter in his name at the Family History Center. And it was like, whew, everything's done. And there's like a million people everywhere. And there's a lot done. So we really just need to like.
Interesting fact. If you go into one of the centers and you put in your name, if there's someone related to you, like a cousin or something, in the building at the same time, it will notify you and them that they have a relative in the building. So when we put my name in, we had a few people stick their head around the corner. Hey,
cousin.
So that was a kind of a crazy experience.
Yeah. Someone said, what's the FLDS reasons for not celebrating Christmas or other Christian holidays?
Okay. So they say that it is just a worldly holiday. It is not when the Savior was born. They say it is just a way for people to waste time, spend money, and celebrate something that is of no significance. So that was their reasons.
I think it's because that would be a lot of money to spend on 35 kids for Christmas.
Well, I agree, but at the same time, back when I was a kid, the whole making sure you give all of your money to the church wasn't really a thing yet.
Yeah.
So I think they just, for whatever reason, thought that it was a bad holiday. Yeah. And I know there's other people out there that feel the same, so that they had that idea.
Do any of your siblings have the same birthday?
Yes. In fact, my brother, I don't normally name names here, but my brother Daniel and my brother Simon both have a birthday on December. No. Oh,
January.
Boy. January. Yes. January 1st, I believe. Anyway, either way.
And they're both from different mothers.
They're both from different mothers, of course. They're not twins.
Well, no, I meant like were they meaning the same year or just the same day?
Oh, no. I was referring to the same day.
So, okay. Same day.
No. You're right.
Because they're different years.
They're different years, but they are on the same day. Yes.
But as far as like our kids born close together, like he has a brother that is only, how close is?
So I have a brother that is, let's see here, 4 months.
4 months younger than you.
3.5 months younger than me. And so we're almost the exact same age.
Yeah. So that's really common that they're like multiple wives will be pregnant at the same time and they'll have kids really close.
Yep.
Hello from Finland. Hello.
Wow. Hey,
thanks so much for being here, guys.
This is so exciting and so fun that so many people could get on at this time. We're glad this worked out.
Yes. And as far as sisters, we would love to have Christine on or Janelle or anybody else. Honestly, we haven't tried to reach out because we just feel like they probably get a million requests.
Yeah, this is what we get. This is what we get for assuming that they wouldn't want to join us on our show.
Maybe we need to reach out. We'll reach out to Christine.
We should definitely reach out.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, Dreamcatcher. Been lovely chatting you both. Lovely, decent, genuine souls. Thank you so much. Glad to be a part of the channel now, guys. Much love. I have to go now. Catch you both soon.
Oh, thank you so
much, Dreamcatcher, for being here. And thank you so much for the super chats and all the support.
Yes, we look forward to hearing from you again. Thank you.
Yeah. Why are crosses not allowed in homes?
Oh, and that's a question for you, babe.
That's a question more for me. Of course, the FLDS didn't do crosses either, right?
No. Well, the FLDS wouldn't even allow many pictures or anything on the wall because they would call it that if you were putting things on the wall, even the picture of Jesus Christ, if you had a big picture of him or angels or something, they would say, be careful, because if you are worshiping these pictures, then that becomes the worshiping idols, so they were very cautious. But of course they would have pictures of Warren Jeffs everywhere, so practice what you preach. I don't know what they were doing.
In the mainstream LDS church, we were told that we needed to focus on the Garden of Gethsemane. Like the atonement was done in the Garden of Gethsemane, and so we were supposed to be focusing on that and focusing on the resurrection, not the crucifixion. So rather than on the cross, we focused on the resurrection. Or we had a lot of pictures of like Christ after the resurrection would be on walls and stuff a lot portraying him in his resurrected form. So that was what I was told growing up. I know that since then, I've heard like recently, like the church changed like their symbols on Google Maps to be little crosses to try to show people that they're a Christian church as well. So I think their stance on crosses is like slowly starting to change a little bit. But when I was being raised, it was a big no-no. Like, you do not wear crosses. You don't have crosses in your house. Definitely no crosses in the churches. Nothing like that.
Yeah. And we'll see, maybe 10 years down the road, that's different. But things have changed over time. With the FLDS, I don't think anything will change. It's going to be Warren Jeffs until he passes away. And then someone else, unfortunately, will stand up and say, I'm the new guy, and probably try to continue on.
Yeah. If your mother isn't the first wife, is your father's name on your birth certificate?
Yes. That is interesting because my mother is not legally married to him, but they are both on my birth certificate.
I don't think you have to be legally married though to be on birth. Like
there are lots of people if kids are born outside of parents.
Yeah. I don't think.
But yes, they are both. They are both on there.
Yeah, and he's lucky that he has a birth certificate.
I think I know why that would be of concern, though. If you are living in a polygamous marriage in Utah where it's illegal, that maybe they wouldn't want you to know, because I believe, like in the Kingstons, group, they keep them off.
So, or Amanda Ray's mom put like somebody else's name.
Sneaky. But yes, my birth certificate has both of my parents' names on it.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder too, this is pure speculation on my part, but I wonder if because the FLDS was so far away in their own community, they didn't worry so much in the same way that the Kingstons or the AUBs, where they're more integrated into regular society. Right. They seem to have a lot more fear about anybody finding out that they're polygamists, where in Short Creek, everyone was polygamous.
We were just so far away from
everyone. So far away from everybody that their only fear was people like the government coming in, like in a raid type form, but they weren't worried about someone at school telling on them and getting the dad taken away, because everybody they went to school with, everybody that was at the grocery stores, everybody was polygamous. So they didn't have the same fear.
And even people back in the day when I lived there, even the people that weren't FLDS and that would come in and out of the town, most of them were still polygamists because they were from the split off groups, fundamentalist split off groups that also believed in polygamy. So it was very much just everyone knew what was going on and everyone was okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. Hello. How did we meet?
Oh, that's a great question.
That's a great question. And then we probably will make this our last one for today. Yeah, because it'll probably take me about 5 minutes to say this.
How time flies.
I know it goes by so fast. But so we met, actually. We had a mutual friend that brought Sam to my 18th birthday party. And we decided we were going to be lunch buddies because my current lunch buddy had just left on a mission for the church. And so I was like, oh, let's be lunch buddies. We went on 2 lunch dates and then we never spoke again.
We just, well,
and then
in our defense, well, I will say that I had just left the FLDS church. Mm-hmm. This isn't my defense, by the way. I'll get to that. But I had just left and I was still under this, I don't know. I was still trying to prove that I knew something. And so I was trying too hard because I was uneducated. I didn't know much about the outside world. And I feel like I came off maybe even a little too cocky or controlling because of the way I was raised. And so I was still trying to fit into society. Anyway, I imagine that was evident when we went on our lunch dates, and maybe that's why we kind of went our separate ways.
Well, and there was a lot going on because I think at that point you might have been getting ready for a mission.
That was going to be my defense. Yes.
I had a missionary that was going to be, or maybe I just broken up with a missionary. I think, I still had a missionary at that point. Mm-hmm. And anyway, it just wasn't the right timing. So we went on those 2 lunch dates and we didn't speak again for a long time. I had moved to northern Utah for my job. And I woke up one morning and was like, I'm supposed to move back to St. George. And I started crying. I was like, I don't know why I'm supposed to move back, but like, I just feel like I am. And I was so distraught and so upset. And I did. I moved back to St. George like 6 weeks later and went down there. And the very first Sunday, I was trying to look up what ward, because in Mormon churches, so it's all geographical like areas. Like if you live in this area, you go to this church building at this time. So I was looking up what church I was supposed to go to and at what time. Mm. And I went where they said, and I walked in and realized I wasn't in the right place at the right time. And I was sitting in the back, super frustrated. And in walked Sam, but he had turned into...
It had been about 5 years.
It had been 5 years and he had turned into a man. And so I was like, recognize him. And I'm really bad with names, but I went up and tapped on his shoulder and I was like, is your name Sam? And he couldn't remember my name, but he did remember that we had gone on lunch dates before.
I remembered your face.
You remember my face. And at the end of church, he like ran me down in the hall and was like, hey, let me get your number. We need to go to lunch for old time's sake. And we set up a date and I canceled on him so I could reel him in.
It worked.
It wasn't on purpose, actually, but I had to cancel the first date.
I had to know after that. Okay, she's canceling a date? That doesn't happen. No,
yeah. And so 2 weeks later, we went on our first date and we have been together ever since that first date. It was just...
The first date was definitely one to remember. And I spent all my life savings on that date. Had to make an impression. I just knew it was a good one. So I had to make sure I tried hard.
Yeah. But, so yeah, we've been together ever since. We were like a typical Mormon fast marriage story. We went on our first date the first weekend in April. We got engaged the end of May. We got married in the middle of August. And that was 10 years ago.
Seemed like a lifetime to us, but it was quick now that we think back on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, we are going to stop it there for today. We are going to try to be better about doing these awesome. Thank you guys all. I mean, so many people hopping on here, so many people from all around the world. We appreciate you
Yes,
all
yes,
so
you're all
so
amazing.
much.
Thank you, thank you.
And we're gonna try so hard to do one a month. I know we have holiday months coming up here, so we'll see what we can do. But we're gonna try to make this at least once a month, make it more regular. This was super super fun. You guys asked great
Yes.
questions.
We need
Such a
to,
good
we
time.
definitely will be doing it more often. Thank you all so much for jumping on here. Oh my gosh, so much support and love. Thank you, thank you,
Yes,
thank
and
you.
thank you all for the super chats and for asking for coffee donations and all those sweet things too. So we appreciate you all. We hope you guys have an awesome weekend.
Thank you all so much. We look forward to talking with you soon.
We'll talk to y'all soon.